Hello, welcome to Defense News. Ukraine war update.
France's Macron suggests he won't fire nukes at Russia even if Putin uses them in Ukraine. In a TV interview Wednesday night, gave a long and sometimes ambiguous discussion of how France might react if Vladimir Putin's threats to use nuclear force were to come true. His answer, to the France 2 network, suggested that such an event may fall short of France's own threshold for striking back. The position was at odds with a much firmer statement by G7 countries Monday, in which France and other nations warned of the severe consequences to the Russian use of nuclear weapons. Macron was asked, would France consider a tactical strike by Russia as a nuclear strike? France's current nuclear policy is to use nuclear weapons only in self-defense, a definition Macron suggested would not be met by an attack on an allied nation like Ukraine. Macron also tweeted on Wednesday, "We do not want a world war." In another tweet he said, "We are helping Ukraine to resist on its soil, never to attack Russia." Vladimir Putin must stop this war and respect Ukraine's territorial integrity. On the other hand, a senior NATO official said that a nuclear attack by Russia would almost certainly trigger a military response from Western nations. He said Russia using nuclear weapons would almost certainly be drawing a physical response from many allies, and potentially from NATO itself, and said that Russia would face unprecedented consequences. Russia is going to conduct nuclear exercise. NATO chief says annual exercise would not be taken lightly amidst nuclear threats. Stoltenberg said that it was an annual nuclear exercise carried out by Russia during which they test and exercise their nuclear forces. The annual exercise, called the GRUM exercise, is generally conducted by the country in late October, during which Russia's nuclear-capable bombers, submarines and missiles are put to test. Earlier, the NATO chief said that NATO would go ahead with its nuclear exercise involving 14 of its 30-member countries despite threats from Russian President Vladimir Putin. The exercise, dubbed Steadfast Noon, is held annually and usually runs for about 1 week. NATO's exercise involves fighter jets capable of carrying nuclear warheads but does not involve any live bombs. Conventional jets and surveillance and refueling aircraft also routinely take part. Russia to help evacuate civilians from occupied Kherson as Ukraine makes gains. Russia said Thursday its forces would help evacuate residents of occupied Kherson to other areas. The announcement by Russian Deputy Prime Minister Marat Kusnulin came shortly after the head of the Moscow-backed administration in Kherson, Vladimir Seldo, appealed to the Kremlin for help moving residents out of harm's way, in the latest indication that Russian forces were struggling in the face of Ukrainian advances. The Ukrainian military has been carrying out a counteroffensive in Kherson and eastern parts of the country, taking back territory that had been occupied by Russia as well as striking critical infrastructure such as bridges and railways. Seldo said local Russian leadership had decided to organize the possibility of Kherson families traveling to other regions of the Russian Federation. Fighting in Kherson has intensified in recent weeks, as Kyiv pushes ahead with its goal to take back parts of the region Russia seized in the early days of the invasion. US and Ukrainian officials said last month that they hope to retake all of Kherson by the end of the year. What are your views on this new development? Let us know in the comment, and also don't forget to subscribe.